What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking a little bit about The Watcher, the new miniseries on Netflix starring Bobby Cannavale and Naomi Watts that tells the story of a young couple that move into their dream home, now being threatened by terrifying letters from a stalker signed only known as The Watcher. Now, this is a story I knew nothing about. This show is based on a true story. It's coming to us from the creators of American Horror Story, and right there, that is where this show got my interest. I'm not the biggest fan of American Horror Story. I've watched a couple of seasons of that show, but it really isn't one of the shows that really gravitated towards me. So I didn't know exactly what this show was going to be about, and knowing that this film is based on true stories, I am a sucker for based on true story events, and so this show got my attention. Now, there are a lot of things that I like about this show, and there are a couple of things that I really didn't like. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the positives. A couple of things that I really liked about this show is the fact that this show actually had a really nice sense of tone. It was really dark and mysterious. I'm not sure how much of it is really based on the true story that actually happened, but I was really gravitated towards the entire show, mostly because of the mysterious aspect of the show that make you guess as to who could be the Watcher and who could not be the Watcher, and that was something that really had my attention going into this show. This show also stars Margot Martindale, Mia Farrow, Richard Kind, Jennifer Coolidge, and one of the biggest surprises that I had with this show was Jennifer Coolidge. I thought she was actually really wonderful in this show as somebody that is really obsessed with this house that this couple moved into. Is it Emmy worthy? Probably not. And I really like the fact that she's broadening out her horizons because she's mostly known as Stifler's mom and Elle Wood's friend in Legally Blonde, and even though she doesn't have a lot of screen time in this show, the most that she has in this show actually did make a really big, strong impression on me. I really like the dynamic between Margot Martindale and Richard Kind. They are the couple that live next door that really have a strong connection to this house. They want it to stay the same as exactly as it is, and for the most part, I thought that was really fun. And the little dynamic that they have with Mia Farrow and Terry Kinney, who plays Jasper, I think those little dynamics and mysterious aspects of the show actually worked in its own benefit as to keeping the mystery alive as to who is really behind these letters and why they're traumatizing this family. A couple of other standouts that actually really impressed me was Bobby Cannavale. I've been a big fan of this guy for a really long while, and then I found out that he's married to Rose Byrne, and that really made me want to hate him. But it's hard to hate this guy because I think he is a really underrated talent. And the way that he plays off Naomi Watts, who plays his wife, I think those two were the heartbeat of this film, and it really shows how draining this whole mystery is because we don't know who's actually sending these letters. They just keep receiving them. The Watcher has been watching them. They know their kids' names. They know exactly where they are, who they're talking to. They know a little bit more as to who this family is. And that was really strong and compelling that I really like. That was really something strong about the atmospheric tone of the show. The fact that it was really drenched in a lot of mystery, that was something that really hooked me and kept me going and guessing as to who the Watcher is. Now, I had my ideas as to who the Watcher could be. It could be Margot Martindale and Richard Kind, or it could have been Mia Farrow and Terry Kinney. I really had my guesses as to who the Watcher could have been. And even though some of those things really didn't pan out, if you know exactly what the true story is, then that really gives somebody that doesn't know anything about the story a little bit of a leverage as to who exactly it could be. Could it be the private investigator that they hired? Could it be somebody else on the outside? That is something that was very intriguing. I didn't like the fact that this show kind of ran its course a little bit towards the end and ran a little bit too long by setting up different little things to pad the runtime just a little bit. You could have cut it down just a little bit, but the fact that I was really intrigued throughout the entire show shows that I was really intrigued by this whole premise. I really wanted to know a little bit more, and I might dig a little bit deeper as to how this whole mystery unfolded. If you were the ones that were really caught up on the things that actually happened when it happened, then you know exactly how this show is going to pan out. As somebody that really didn't know anything about the story and didn't know anything about the show going into it, I was really impressed by the fact that it grabbed my attention throughout the entire show. I like the fact that there were some mysterious aspects, and I really like the fact that it had a really dark and gritty tone that I was not expecting. The voice modulator that they used in the show is a bit of a hit and miss for me. There were a couple of times where it felt like they used the same modulator that they used in Spiral when they were trying to hide the Jigsaw copycat's voice, and I think that worked to an effect in this show, but I just could not get the fact that it was the same voice that they used in in Spiral. It might have not been the same voice, it might have been something else, but that was just the one thing that really stuck out to me. But overall, I really enjoyed the show. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it actually grabbed my attention throughout the entire show. I was really intrigued by this mystery, and I really wanted to see how everything was going to pan out. So overall, I'm going to say that I would recommend this show if you have not checked it out just yet. If you don't know anything about the mystery, I think you're going to be unraveled just a little bit. But if you do, then you're probably not going to be guessing as to who the Watcher is. I was really surprised by this show. Coming from somebody that really isn't a big fan of the American Horror Story, I was really impressed by the fact that Ryan Murphy was able to compel this mystery and give us something freshly new, something that we had already seen before, but reveled in true events. But those are my thoughts on The Watcher. Have you guys checked it out? Do you know anything about the true story? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.